Welcome back to Beyond Wisdom, where we explore timeless truths for a more peaceful and meaningful life. In today's world, we wear busyness like a badge of honor. The faster we go, the more successful we feel, even if inside, we're running on empty. But long before burnout was a modern crisis, ancient cultures had a quiet, powerful answer. Slow down. This wasn't laziness. It was wisdom. A sacred rhythm of life that protected the mind, body, and spirit. And today, more than ever, we need to remember it. In ancient Egypt, the concept of Ma'at represented not just justice and truth, but cosmic balance, the harmony between action and stillness, work and reflection. Life wasn't meant to be a constant surge of activity. Priests, farmers, and even pharaohs followed daily and seasonal rhythms that included intentional pauses. In Japan, the art of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, invites stillness, not as escape, but as a return to balance. These ancient ways understood what we often forget. When we push without pause, we break. But when we slow down, we strengthen the foundation we stand on. True resilience comes not from constant motion, but from knowing when to stop. In ancient Hebrew tradition, the Sabbath wasn't just a rule. It was a gift. 1 day a week, no work, no labor, no striving. This sacred pause wasn't about productivity. It was about remembering what matters: community, rest, gratitude. It was a built-in guardrail to keep people from falling off the edge. And though the modern world often sees rest as laziness, this ancient practice reminds us, you are not what you produce. You are not your achievements. You are human, and humans need rest to remain whole. For many indigenous peoples across the world, time was not measured in minutes. It was measured in movement of the sun, the moon, the seasons, the animals. Life flowed with nature, not against it. Among the Lakota, it was said, "The white man knows how to make everything, but he does not know how to distribute it." Meaning, he could build and do, but not always in balance. In these communities, a day of stillness was just as valuable as a day of effort. The land taught patience, and wisdom came not from speed, but from listening, from observing, from allowing life to unfold. In the Taoist tradition of ancient China, Wu Wei is the idea of non-doing, of flowing with the current instead of against it. To move slowly, with awareness, was to move wisely. A river doesn't rush. A tree doesn't strain to grow. And yet they reach their fullness in time. Slowness was never about doing nothing. It was about doing the right thing at the right moment, without force. This idea isn't just spiritual. It's deeply practical, because when we slow down, we see more clearly. We choose better. We respond instead of react. And that changes everything. We often think of the Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, as tough-minded, always composed. And they were. But they were also deeply reflective. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations about the importance of rising early, not to be busy, but to be in alignment with nature. Seneca warned against the futility of constant motion, saying, It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. They believed that if you were constantly rushing, you were probably missing the point. The goal was not to do everything, but to do the essential things well and wisely. In ancient Greece, there were over 60 festival days each year, days where normal work stopped and people came together to eat, sing, reflect, and honor the gods. These weren't distractions. They were anchors. In medieval Europe, the agricultural calendar included long periods of rest between planting and harvest. There were weeks where work simply wasn't expected. These traditions weren't inefficient. They were human. They acknowledged that constant output drains the soul. Pauses are not a luxury. They are part of the pattern that keeps us from burning out. In Buddhist teachings, walking slowly and breathing with awareness is a sacred act. Thich Nhat Hanh, a modern Vietnamese monk rooted in ancient tradition, often said, "Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet." That kind of presence doesn't come from rushing. It comes from choosing to slow down and see. In ancient Hindu philosophy, the idea of dharma, one's right path, isn't something you chase. It's something you move toward through alignment and awareness. That can't be rushed. Meaning is revealed in stillness, in silence, in slowness. That's where truth begins to speak. Even in the Roman Empire, where conquest and progress were prized, philosophers warned about the dangers of hurry. Cicero said, "No one can live well who does not live wisely, honorably, and justly." And living wisely meant not rushing. In fact, many ancient thinkers saw speed as a form of blindness. When you move too fast, you don't see the full picture. You miss the nuance. You act on impulse instead of insight. And that's when harm happens, to ourselves and to others. Slowness, then, was not just a lifestyle. It was a safeguard for the soul. Somewhere along the way, we forgot this ancient truth. We are not machines. We are not meant to run without pause, without breath, without space. The rule to slow down isn't outdated. It's eternal. It protected generations before us, not by making them do less, but by helping them do what mattered, with clarity and care. When we return to that rhythm, we remember who we are. We reconnect with the quiet wisdom that was always there, waiting. What's one part of your life where you could honor slowness, not as a weakness, but as a form of strength? Thanks for watching. If this video brought you value, subscribe to Beyond Wisdom. Until next time, stay calm, stay strong, and stay wise.